What do you call it when the number of layoffs in the United States goes up by 136% in just 1 month? Michael Snyder reports. Wow, our economic problems really are starting to accelerate at a shocking pace, and I know that I've been writing about layoffs a lot lately, but what's happening to the employment market right now is definitely big news. Day after day, more large companies are announcing mass layoffs. Why would all of these large companies be doing this if the outlook for the US economy is promising? That wouldn't make any sense at all. But if all these companies are convinced that the US economy is heading into a recession or worse, it would make perfect sense to slash payrolls at this time. To me, the most accurate numbers that we get around are around those that come from non-government sources. And so I was greatly alarmed to learn that Challenger Gray and Christmas has just published a report which shows that the number of layoffs in the United States went up by 136% from December to January. The pace of job cuts in the US by US employers accelerated at the start of 2024, a sign the labor market is starting to deteriorate in the face of ongoing inflation and high interest rates. That's according to a new report published by Challenger Gray and Christmas, which found that companies planning 82,307 job cuts in January, a substantial 136% increase from the previous month. So what should we call it when the number of layoffs in our country goes up by 136% in just 1 month? A catastrophe? A tsunami? I don't know. According to the report, financial companies laid off more workers than anyone else in January. Financial companies. Financial companies bore the brunt of the job losses in January, with the industry shedding 23,238 employees, and that's the highest monthly layoff total for the financial sector since September 2018, when it announced 27,343 job cuts. The technology sector followed with 15,806 layoffs, the most since May 2023, and a stunning 254% increase from just 1 month prior. Let's talk about the financial industry for a moment. Our banks are in very serious trouble. Higher interest rates have hit them very hard, and many institutions that have been forced to lay off workers in recent months. And let us remember that banks get money when they lend money to people. If they don't lend money, of course, they don't have income. Now, in addition, U.S. banks have been permanently shutting down hundreds and hundreds of branches in a desperate attempt to save money. Banks are shutting hundreds of branches a year this month. Some 41 closures were announced in a single week, and among those affected were 9 U.S. bank locations. Bank of America, Chase, PNC, Citizen, Capital One, First National Bank of Pennsylvania, and Huntington also said they were axing branches. Such closures deal a huge blow to customers looking to visit in person to submit a document, make a withdrawal or deposit, cash in a check, or simply run through their finances with a trusted bank manager. This is a trend that I expect to continue all through 2024. Meanwhile, the tech industry continues to bleed jobs at an alarming pace. On Thursday, Zoom announced 150 employees would be hitting the bricks. Zoom is cutting about 150 jobs. CNBC confirmed on Thursday, the latest tech company to slash headcounts this year as investors continue to push for efficiency. I thought that Zoom was doing quite well. I guess not. Identity management company OCTA is giving the axe to even more workers than Zoom is. Identity management company OCTA said on Thursday it sent a message to its employees that it would lay off 400 employees, which is about 7% of the company's headcount. OCTA also reaffirms its fourth quarter and full year guidance in a securities filing. CEO Todd McKinnon said in his message that the reality is that costs are still too high. So many layoff announcements are coming in, and now I can't possibly keep up with them all. But there is one more that I wanted to specifically mention in this article. The Messenger is shutting down all operations, and all of their employees will now be searching for new employment. The Messenger, an online news site that promoted itself to deliver unbiased and trusted news, abruptly shut down Wednesday after 8 months of operation. Jimmy Finkelstein, the founder of The Messenger, sent an email to its over 300 employees announcing the immediate shutdown. This is such a stunning development. In less than a year, the publication burned through $50 million. The Messenger received $50 million in investor money in order to launch in May 2023, with hopes of growing its newsroom relatively fast. With experienced journalists joining their team, Finkelstein's plan was to bring back to the old days of journalism that he and his family once shared. How in the world did he manage to burn through $50 million in less than a year? Did they have employees flushing $100 bills down the toilets? I just don't understand. The layoffs that I mentioned above are just the tip of the iceberg. Zero Hedge has put together a list of some of the most notable layoffs that we've seen during the past few months. 1. Twitch, 35% of workforce. 2. Hasbro, 20% of workforce. 3. Spotify, 17% of workforce. 4. Levy's, 15%. 5. Xerox is 15%. 6. Qualtrics, 14% of workforce. 7. Wayfair, 13%. 8. Duolingo, 10%. 9. Washington Post, 10% of workforce. 10. eBay is 9% of workforce. 11. Business Insider, 8% of workforce. 12. PayPal, 7% of workforce. 13. Charles Schwab, 6% of workforce. 14. UPS, 2% of workforce. 15. BlackRock, 3% of workforce. 16. Citigroup, 20,000 employees. 17. Pixar, 1,300 employees. Needless to say, there are quite a few more that could have been added to that list. Google, Microsoft, Salesforce, and Sports Illustrated are just a few names that quickly come to mind. We've been anticipating that a massive wave of layoffs would be coming, and now it's here. Just in time for the most chaotic election season in our history, a great deal of economic chaos is breaking out all around us. The outlook for the rest of 2024 is not good at all, and the outlook beyond 2024 is even worse. So many people are going to lose their jobs during the months ahead. Just pray that you will not be one of them. And this is by Michael Snyder. He says about the author, my name is Michael Snyder, extremely controversial new book entitled Chaos, available on paperback and for Kindle on Amazon. He's also written 7 other books that are available on Amazon, including End Times, 7-Year Apocalypse, Lost Prophecies of the Future of America, The Beginning of the End, and Living a Life That Really Matters, commissions earned. When you purchase any of Michael's books, you help to support the work that he's doing. You can also get his articles by email as soon as he publishes them by subscribing to his Substack newsletter. Michael has published thousands of articles on Economic Collapse blog, End of the American Dream, Most Important News, and he always freely and happily allows others to republish his articles on their own websites. You can connect with Michael on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter, and sharing his articles on your own social media accounts is definitely a great help. These are such troubled times that people need hope. John 3:16 tells us about the hope that God has given us through Jesus Christ. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish but have everlasting life. If you have not already done so, we strongly urge you to invite Jesus Christ to be your Lord and Savior today. Please leave your comments, and thank you for your support. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.